Rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick roll call. Judy?
Here.
Bruce?
Yes.
Chris? Colleen?
Here.
Bob?
Here.
Okay, excused absence is Joe, and then Larry is absent. All right, I get a motion to move the minutes to the back of the meeting.
Make a motion to move the minutes from May 14th to the end of the meeting.
I'll second.
Second by Judy. All in favor on vote?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. We'll move the minutes to the end of the meeting. We are going to start with old business. Paula Roberts. I'd say move up, but you're right here in the front anyway. Last meeting that I had with you guys, I gave you the criteria for the state with the use variance. I asked for certain documentation. We got some of it. I did speak with the ZBA attorney. There's a couple confusing things that no one really picked up on, but he picked up on it. So I want to address a couple things just in order, and then some new information, and we'll go from there. One of the things that we noticed, or the ZBA attorney noticed, Richard Hoyt, is the unit in question in the garage. They noticed the determination states that the upstairs garage is pre-existing. And what I meant by pre-existing, that was already approved. And it's the downstairs that needs the variance. In the court paperwork, they're saying the upstairs needs the variance and the downstairs is approved. And in your paperwork to us, you list the second floor instead of the first floor. So I just want to clarify to make sure we're talking about the first floor.
We are talking about, originally it was the first floor, we went to court, the second floor was vacant. The judge was kind enough to allow us to keep the tenant in the first floor and go for a variance on the upper floor.
Okay, so I'll get clarification from the code enforcement officer, because I think, I can't speak for them, but I think on their records, they show that that permit, the original permit was taken out for the second floor.
There has been an updated engineer's report getting the first floor up to New York State code. The code enforcement agent has all that. That is one of the things he required, that apartment, the electrical inspection and everything was done.
Okay, so,
The code enforcement was party to the agreement with the courts.
yes, and that's where the confusion is. We did write a memo that it should be the first floor that should be seeking the variance, not the second floor.
That would be inconsistent with the settlement that we had with the town. The whole issue was, it doesn't matter which one is occupied, is that both cannot be occupied. According to our settlement, it didn't matter which one we saw, the other one we would transfer to. So that's why we're here. So from our perspective, if that is the stance that the building or the town, the code enforcement is relying on, that's just frustrating the purposes of us moving forward.
Well, for us, when we go out, I mean, right now we're still in the fact gathering, phase. So when we go out to public hearing, we have to be specific. So we don't want to go out and say it's the second floor and it's the first, or we don't want to say it's the first floor and it's the second. So we have to have that, I got to know where we're talking about. in that second building. I hear what you're saying, but I did read the settlement agreement. The settlement agreement from Anne Marie did say second floor.
But this is not in the house, this is the accessory building.
This is right, so this is not in the house, this is the garage. And in the settlement agreement, it states second floor.
Yeah, I read it.
But the original building permit, I guess, was taken out for the first apartment. So just when we go out to the public, we just have to have.
So which one are we gonna state?
Well-
So what is the clarification? Is it first or second?
Well, the
Or does
first
it matter?
floor is occupied, we have that, it will continue to be occupied. Right now, the second floor is unoccupied, and if there's an issue that we can't move forward, it's gonna remain unoccupied, so I would take it that would be the second floor that. we go
And there was, right, so that was one of the questions, okay.
But the second floor is the one that's pre-existing already with a permit,
Correct.
right? That's what- okay.
So you're saying the second floor is pre-existing, he's saying the first floor was pre-existing.
No.
Okay, so that's,
But the first floor has been brought up to code with an engineer's report.
Yep, I got it.
all right. The code enforcement officer, going through his files, brought up that he found a letter that's dated 23 years ago that there could possibly be a second apartment in the house. So we're trying to figure out how many units we're dealing with. Is it just the house and the approved, whether it's first or second floor, and then we're going for the variance, or is there something,
So my understanding, and I've only recently come across that letter, it was never provided to me by the building inspector, which is problematic considering that they are a party to the settlement agreement. And a little blindsided considering from 23 years ago. It doesn't even reference the accessory structure. It has nothing to do with what we're seeking the variance for. It's for a completely different, and there is no apartment in a basement in the home, so it has nothing to do with our application.
okay.
The accessory structure was there 23 years ago, though?
It was there when we bought the house in 1998. We moved in February of '98.
Well, the accessory structure, you're talking about the basement.
The accessory structure.
Was it
the garage,
was it
apartment,
The
pre-existing?
garage and the apartment.
They were
Okay.
there.
Everything was there 23 years ago.
And
That's what was-
just for the record, if there is a concern of an illegal apartment in the basement, obviously the town would have every right to go ahead and issue a citation for that, but that has nothing to do with what we have in front of you.
But everything was existing 23 years ago when the success letter was written, so that we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I don't even understand that letter. I mean, it makes no sense. I don't think I was ever given a copy of that. It kind of, like I said, I'm sure that the ZBA attorney had it, for him not to share it with my attorney. It's definitely problematic to me. We bought the house in '98, never had a tenant downstairs, never entertained a tenant downstairs. And the code enforcement with a ZBA member would be willing to come over and have it inspected, but this has to end sometime. I don't mind the code enforcement coming over and inspecting it, if we're gonna get some progress here. But this is just dragging on and on.
Okay, yeah, we'll relay those concerns to the code enforcement officer. So, but based on what you're telling me, there's nothing in the house. We're dealing with 3 units. The house and
The accessory structure.
The accessory structure.
And I don't want to step on any toes as far as what the process is here, but from my perspective, if this board wanted to move on a vote, I mean, the code enforcement can give their opinion, but that's small that it is, and I established already that the letter that they brought up has nothing to do with the accessory structure that we're talking about today, and the first or second floor designation, we're going according to the agreement, and it's in our paper, so we're probably for the second floor. So from our perspective, we satisfied all those requirements, it could be up for a vote to move it on to a public hearing.
If that letter is accurate, you know, it only goes to show that town assessor, code enforcement, and the previous supervisor assumed there was a third unit on that property, wrongly, of course, but if they were assuming there was, that means they turned a blind eye and let 3 apartments go. You know, so it just means we gotta move forward with this variance and move forward. Every time my attorney comes here, it's costing us money. We have to go to court tomorrow with no end in sight. It's been dragging on for over a year, and we.
Well, just so you know, the board just received that letter. So we didn't know about it, so, you know.
That's totally understandable. That being said,
We're just trying to figure out
Of course.
how many units, so whether the use variance is granted or not granted, we want to just find out how many.
if the
units
variance was granted, there would be
total.
3 units total.
Gotcha.
That's what we're
Yeah.
applying for.
Okay.
That being said, as the attorney, I just want to state that part, the fact the letter was not provided to us beforehand is a problem. So I don't think it should be considered in any decision for regarding the public hearing.
So the house is 1, accessory structure has 2.
Correct.
Got it. So the house is only 1. That's what we wanted clarification on.
No problem.
Okay.
And one last thing for the record, in the settlement agreement, it does say that the town will not interfere or hinder with the ability for us to move forward with this. And we're obviously a little frustrated being here, but our interpretation is by providing these sort of documents and saying confusing language, oh, it was the first floor, it's the second floor, it's starting to encroach on that territory. That town may be intentionally obstructing this process for us, for whatever reason that may be, but I'm the one that needs to go in front of, I can't pronounce her last name.
Anne Marie.
Anne Marie, yeah,
Yes.
and explain to her why I'm back there for a second time, and the zoning board meeting, we still haven't moved forward.
Yeah, and, you know, part of the delay, you know, for one meeting, we had to cancel.
Yes, no,
So-
I understand, I still need to explain. Yes.
Right, so. All right, so we have that. Sorry, just received a lot of information myself. One of the, I just want to make for the record, because usually this is done within 60 days, that we're talking about all this so we can get a complete application. So when we go out to the public input, and the notice has to be drafted, we're all on the same page. 3 units for this property.
That's correct.
The income part of your letter was the income for just the unit itself. When you apply for a use variance, it's for the total units. So,
Well, 1 unit's occupied, 1 unit, I believe, you reside, correct?
The house.
Correct, so that is the income. So there's only 2 units at the moment,
okay.
and obviously not having that 3rd unit creates a financial hardship.
But this is, the only, on this, this is just the income from the 1 unit.
But that would be the only income. There is, because Ms. Roberts resides in the main structure of the property.
And the other one's unoccupied.
Correct.
What's the acres on this?
2.5. So, which we brought up last time, so if it really needs a use variance and an area variance. The hardest test is the use variance first. One of the other things we're gonna need under use variance, which I wasn't I did not know last meeting, otherwise I would have had you fill it out. If you can, you just gotta fill out the seeker review, the short form.
Is that the environmental short form?
Yeah. And then we just have to double check to make sure with the county that yours, and I just don't know, the 67 Third Street within 500 feet of a county land or within 500 feet of municipal boundary or 500 feet of an active farm in an ag district. So I don't think you're 500 feet within the other two. I just don't know about an ag district. And if it does, it's got to go up to county.
I mean, that's something we probably establish right now with a search online as far as what the ag district is.
Yeah, I mean, we could, you know, I mean, I could do that, you know, I could have, you know, Elizabeth, you know, do that. But if you could do the seeker, you know, Liz, do you have this gentleman's, his email? That we
Yeah.
can email you?
Yeah, and your paralegal,
Perfect.
Catherine?
Catherine.
So that way you could
Yeah, I
just
can send
do
that
that. and send it.
tomorrow morning.
No, perfect, I appreciate that, and we'll do that in short order. Is there any possibility, considering that we'll do that, that we could vote for a public hearing contingent upon that being submitted immediately?
I would have to draw up the you know, public hearing, and, you know, based on the information that you're giving me now, will help me draw up, and the ZBA attorney to draw up that public notice so we can get it out and schedule a meeting on this, and move forward. Hopefully we could have that done by next meeting.
Understood, and I'm not trying to be difficult here. However, as far as what I can report tomorrow to the court, I believe it's within this board's power to vote to advance this to the stage of public hearing contingent upon receiving a document. What's actually put into the public hearing notice, of course, will be dependent upon the seeker. But as far as moving the process along to the next stage, I do believe the board can do that upon motion.
I can ask the board, do you feel that you have all the information you need pertaining to this to set up and have all your answers to set up and schedule, and we'll talk to the attorney and schedule a date when the public meeting should start?
My thoughts are, I just received this when I walked in the door. I didn't really get a chance to really look this
Yeah,
over.
we got a lot of information,
So,
you know.
I
an hour
feel
and a
I
half
need to
ago.
absorb this a little bit more, sorry.
What information are we referring to, from the town?
From the attorney, Richard Hoyt.
Okay. Which also wasn't shared with us.
Yeah, we just,
I mean, which is,
that's why I'm kind of.
no, I
reading
hear
off-
exactly what you're
off-
saying, but this is also, and it's not the board's fault, but it has been a pattern of behavior in the sense, it's the last minute filings when we're expected to do things, and then it just, you know, obviously, it obstructs our ability to move forward with this.
Well, how did the other board members feel?
Bruce, you reading? He's reading.
Oh,
Well, no, I'm reviewing some of the stuff from Mr. Hoyt. Yeah, my printer died, so I couldn't print the letter out. It's 8 pages worth of stuff.
Yeah.
There's kind of some stuff in here that he referred to that I don't know as if we've even fully covered everything tonight. He made reference to, you know, the maintenance. So one thing that came to my mind at the last meeting or the meeting before, whichever it was, but she presented expenses for rehabilitating this apartment. That really, I don't think that applies to covering your expenses for having a rental property. That's part of the cost of doing business, if you will. Your overhead stuff is your insurance, your property taxes, and all that sort of stuff, in my opinion. So where the rehab expenses factor in to expenses versus income, I think that's going to be a questionable thing to look at.
I don't think, I don't want to, Paul, please interrupt me if I'm speaking and I'm wrong. I don't think that was designed to be, purported toward her income, but rather to show the hardship that she's going through. And yes, of course, maintaining a property and the overhead that comes along with it is obviously included. But as the property remains in the state of being unrented, it's much harder to make those repairs. So it's a self-compounding problem.
Okay, I accept that.
Right, but
It's a catch-22.
Yeah, it is.
And I understand what you're saying. And
That's the bulk, and that was the bulk of the stuff that was submitted.
there's only so much that can be submitted in order to, about the furtherance of the economic harm, because that's her source of income and it's unrented, right? So we're being asked to provide a negative to prove that, to prove a negative, which is what makes this complicated. So there is a bit of, and I don't like using this phrase, a leap of faith that needs to be taken on whether or not this can proceed, because what exists financially is it. Because if it's not rented, there's no reports, there's no rental.
Do we have a breakdown of what the income is? Does it have to be that detailed, where the income is this, her expenses are this,
Yeah,
and then there's the negative, like, do we have, I see all this list here, do we have like a summary of what it would be to show the hardship level?
Well, I don't think, according to the statute, the hardship level is.
Well, the hardship.
But the fact is, there is a hardship, and I think a hardship can be established just by the mere fact that Ms. Roberts isn't working, this is her source of income, and has been, and obviously being deprived of that is going to create an issue, where she can't continue to repair the building, if she can't get income, which was something that is desirable to be rented. So from my interpretation of the statute, that satisfies the requirement, because it doesn't matter if the hardship is 1 cent or $1 million, it's still a hardship.
The remedy that you could sell the property and not have that hardship. So if you can't maintain it, I know that's, there's a hardship of where you have a home and you can't afford what you might have to sell. That's
The hardship
unfortunate part
aspect of it's also one tenant of it. It has to be pre-existing. So this was pre-existing. For the purposes of a variance, yes, selling the property is always an option, but that's a last resort, and you wouldn't be here if that was the desire of the parties.
Trust me, I get you.
But the pre-existing was the approved apartment, not the unapproved apartment.
Correct.
And what the attorney's pointing out, that the hardship goes for the entire property. So what he's saying in here is that you're saying she has no other income but this.
Paula, do you have any other income besides that?
Social Security?
So, and I think that's where the attorney was coming from, because it's going to be on the whole property.
Of course. But that's a very nuanced argument, and obviously the attorney is welcome to make whatever argument he wants in regard to that. But obviously, if the only income that Ms. Roberts has is Social Security and this apartment, it obviously goes to the whole property. If it's only one particular piece of the property is the one that generates income. So it's kind of like an argument that folds in on itself.
So were both of these units ever rented at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was the reason why we had the proceedings in court and continue to, which ultimately resulted in the settlement agreement. And the individual that was in the unit at the time, I believe the first floor, was bedridden and would potentially die if she moved.
And she did.
Okay.
Well, in your letter from the attorney, you say, I can look at this and say, all of Platteville homeowners have property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, necessary repairs, family expenses. But not all Platteville homeowners have the asset of apartments. So that is an asset.
Well, it's an asset, sure, but when we included, for the sake of clarity, the insurances and all of that, to just show that you can't support that if the asset isn't being utilized. So, yes, of course,
But it's an asset.
well, it's an asset that's being unrented, and it's an asset that remains vacant. Obviously, it's not an asset if it becomes a liability, because you have to make sure that you're supporting that
Well,
asset.
then I guess other decisions would have to be made.
Well, that's why we're here, trying to make that a reality, so that the asset can be
Well,
utilized.
I guess just as a board member, I'm thinking of maybe future applicants that may come forward
Yeah.
and how to define hardship. That's all.
Listen, the way and when I've done this before, hardship is a minimum showing. It shows that you're impacted. It's how the board wants to interpret that, is up to the board, obviously. But hardship is a very broad ranging definition, at least in the legal scope.
And it's good that we're talking about it.
Of course.
You also, let's see, the attorney states the hardship is not self-created as the unit predates Robert's ownership, but is not the unit on the second floor per bill. So by putting in the second unit, how is that not creating a self-hardship? Because it was put in without approval.
The unit was there when the property was purchased,
But there
so,
was one unit there.
well, it was still the same structure.
Well, the building was there and you had approval for the one unit, which is in his notice of determination, that's the pre-existing. But the second unit was put in, creating that self-hardship of having to remove it and everything else, because it never had any prior authorization to be there. Granted, yes, it's 20-something years, but the unit was put in without building permits.
In a fashion, it was self-created.
Well, I mean, you have the ability to modify your property however you see fit, obviously. I don't know if it was ever or always used in the fashion of apartment, but if they wanted to have a separate breakout room for the kids to play in, or a guest room, that could be utilized for that also. So I don't know if it was self-created with the intention of it being an apartment, but obviously if you have space, you want to utilize it. If it became an apartment by effect or by just because it was convenient, then so be it, here we are. But I can't sit here and tell you honestly that it was created for the sole purpose of being an apartment. I have no idea what it was created for. I know that in my own home, I have extra spaces with, in my basement that we finished, it has a stove, a bar, a kitchen. No one lives down there, it's not an extra apartment, but it's utilized as such for our guests.
Okay. And then, yeah, because we also, it's just not your piece of property that, we have to consider, are we changing the characteristics of the whole neighborhood? So whether we grant it or not grant it, if we grant it, or now we're opening it, the same conditions up to everyone in that zone.
Of course.
So, we've got to take that into consideration also.
And
That's why I read you the requirements on the use variance, how difficult it is.
No, I understand it, and to counter that, what we're asking is a use variance for something that, whether or not it was built as an apartment or built as an extra room for guests, has been in existence for over 20 years. So I think that the argument that it changes the character of the neighborhood does not satisfy that test, because, I mean, how many people have come here looking for the same thing for their extra space for their apartment? I just don't think that holds up the muster in this particular situation.
And if you drive down Church Street, you can see that the apartment is set away in the back of our house. There's tree lines, none of the neighbors can see it. There's also on the same road a multi-unit trailer park that is there. There's many, right next to it, there's 2 or 3 houses that have multiple units in it. So I mean, is this the trailer park definitely doesn't have more than 2 acres. Is this a zoning flaw on Church Street, that one side of the road could have multiple units and the other side can't?
Well, I'm getting the consensus that everyone wants to
I'd like to
read everything.
soak a little more in personally.
And the other board members, how do they feel?
The other end?
I need to look into it more myself.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be quite honest with you, I am not in favor of doing a contingency vote. I don't see that this is more involved than anybody expected.
Yeah, the use variance is the hardest thing to get, and it's the hardest thing that comes in front of us. So, I think we should take all the information that we got. I could talk with the ZBA attorney, make sure he's at our next meeting, and, present both sides, and
So just to be clear, so you're saying the application right now is incomplete because you
Incomplete.
want the short form seeker. Anything else?
I don't think, and we're gonna go back with, what the gentleman said about, the financials to make sure that that satisfies. He's saying there's no other income, except for social security coming now to Ms. Roberts. So,
But is when having a use variance, is there a level of income that's required to show true hardship?
no, it just says, competent financials, and I do agree with, Bruce, the repair stuff, that's like the cost of doing business, but, that's just my opinion.
So are you saying that those financials presented are not sufficient, or?
Yes, the application is incomplete, which would satisfy, why we do the 62 days, and so we just got this information now, and we're verify everything with the attorney, and hopefully next meeting, we should be able to move to a vote to go to public hearing, but I don't want to do it on contingency.
Okay.
Because there's just too much information.
But do you
and
need
too many
you don't
questions.
need any other thing that financial wise? Do you think they submitted enough on financials? Is what I'm
I think,
asking.
if it can help
Yeah.
clarify,
Yeah.
what question you're asking, are you saying that you want to see a greater showing of hardship?
That's what I'm asking. I need clarification on
Yeah.
incompleteness just due to the seeker form, or incompleteness due to there missing something
Yeah,
else?
I think there has to be a little more clarification in the financials.
So I'm a little confused by that, because when you say clarify, that's gonna go back onto what the definition of hardship is in the statute, right? And I don't know if it's clearly defined, which is why I think it's a minimum showing.
Well,
I mean-
for this board, it'll be something, this would set a precedence then, that we have to then consider.
And with all due respect, the board subject to the statute as well. If it's a minimum showing, we've satisfied that because there's an existing structure that you can't get rent from.
Right, I mean, the statute says,
But we were talking about the definition of hardship.
Which would be defined by the statute, yes.
But is it a deficit of, is it showing hardship because if you don't rent those, because you don't work, so if you don't rent those units, you wouldn't be able to pay your main living area, is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yes. I don't work, my daughter got sick, I got rid of my business. It's been ongoing doctor visits, hospital stays, she's doing great now, but it's still a never-ending doctor appointments and stuff with her. She's very needy. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I wasn't before. It's not exactly the life I wanted, but it's mine.
So if you don't rent the units at all, or are you able to survive now as it is?
I've been taking money out of my stocks. That's how I paid the taxes this year.
And I request that if the board has a different definition of a threshold of hardship.
I'm asking if there is a
Well,
statute.
And like, we need, if that is the case, then we need to be guided as such so that we can comply with it. But if the showing is just hardship, parking a little bit further in the parking
why
lot.
don't we get
so we could get
clarification
clarification
on
on
that
that.
statute to make sure.
Yeah, because
Basic,
what
and
I'm
then-
reading right now, the applicant cannot, part of the test, it states the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return, provided that lack of return is substantial, as demonstrated by competent financial evidence. That's what the statute says.
So then you're saying then what they've submitted is not confident, is what I'm getting clarification.
We're
Or do
gonna,
we need to get clarification?
we're gonna find out what, we have to get clarification on what that test is.
Alright.
If,
Got it.
because there, she's saying, her only other income now is Social Security.
Okay.
So that was one of the questions that was asked to me from the attorney. So we got a lot, more information now.
Okay.
And we could talk to the ZBA, attorney on, if we met all this. So when we go out to public input, if there's any questions, we could answer them, and go from there. Does anyone else have any more questions? So I think at this time, we're not gonna do a vote on contingency. We're going to take the input that you just gave us, and we're sit down with the ZBA, attorney, and present the material you gave to us, and hopefully move forward.
I would just ask that when you sit down with the ZBA attorney, because I don't have any contact with him, any materials that he's provided to the board that we'd be able to review as well.
Can you just, well, we'll have that in a minute, so. Okay. All right, gentlemen,
When would,
Maybe I missed it. What was your name?
Alexander Longstein.
Okay,
yeah, he's on the
All right, I see.
original
okay, thanks.
application.
When would be the next board meeting that we would be able to be heard if we can submit that secret form?
Our next meetings are June 11th and June 25th.
The second and fourth.
The second and fourth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get you a word on that.
And is there a minimum amount of days you would need it for submission in advance?
Once we once we vote to go out to public hearing, I think there's an X amount of days we have to get the notice out.
Well, I
But
meant,
he wants to know.
Submission deadline,
correct.
typically it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
Just don't submit it the day before.
I-
So
Yes.
we're work with you because this has been in front of us for a while.
Okay.
So,
So we're looking for a month from now, not 2 weeks, am I correct? Or-
I'm
Almost 2
hoping,
weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
To schedule this, to public input. And, like I said, I'm gonna get with the attorney and,
Generally, the majority of the time, once we vote, it's like 4 weeks then for the public hearing. Just for the timing of,
Right, that
Okay.
makes perfect sense to me. We're just trying to get to the
Yeah.
finish line as possible.
yeah, the next meeting should, everything comes together.
So are we doing June 11th?
Well, we're gonna, we're planning for June 11th.
yeah, so we're gonna put them on for June 11th, and we're gonna try to get, everything, all our ducks in a row, and move on with the application, providing, the feedback and have
So
the.
if we get feedback that we need more clarification on financials, they'll get in touch with you to say, hey, can you
Please,
submit X, Y, and Z, and then
What else am I supposed to submit? Because
that's what we're gonna find out.
I don't know what other financials you would need.
Well, he was talking about, in his memo to me, because the use variance is not for the apartment, it goes with the property.
So you want everything.
So everything. So that's what he was,
Taxes, your insurance, that sort of stuff.
I thought I submitted that.
All we have is what repairs you did.
yeah,
No,
That's all we
Oh,
have.
that's all we've
That's
gotten.
kind of all I've
Yeah.
seen.
Just update it.
Yeah,
I
so,
mean, if it exists, give it to us, because we don't have it in our
I'll make
packets.
sure you get it.
That's
I
the
think
only-
I do remember getting that. Wasn't there electric, Central Hudson bills extended?
yeah,
Yeah, I think we did get that.
Then we have to pull that.
Oh, here.
Why is it not here?
I think that
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
here it
first
is.
package
It is
that
here.
we got.
well, I got this
Why
one.
wasn't that?
This is from,
And all that was in the first package that we got.
So you should have, that should be in the main file.
I got this right.
Is that
here.
in his
That's
main, is that the
so-
main file, Chris says, or do you have the main file?
No, that, you guys have everything. Yeah, there was a
Maybe
one
it's
big
this.
submission, exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C,
Okay, so
That's
that,
got six,
like 18
well,
ish.
that's
But does
it's
Chris
got
have the main file is
deposits,
what
but
I'm
it
asking,
doesn't.
so you're not
it's like
holding
about
any
some
documents?
payments.
No, well, it's not in his packet, that's why I'm bringing it up. So if Bruce has it, Chris doesn't have it.
This was from, I'm gonna say probably back in August.
So that was before I was.
That's why it's not in Chris's packet.
that was before
I
you,
think
that
that's
was
when he
before
was
me.
on,
Now that makes
I
sense.
have it from, I think it's from, I'm gonna say possibly the minutes of August 28th.
Okay,
That sounds right.
alright, so then we need to get that so he can see it, because obviously it's not in the main file. 8/28, okay.
I just sent all that stuff to your secretary.
Is it referring to the original application that we submitted?
Yeah, that's where you said you submitted your,
This is the use variance.
That makes sense.
I had it in a folder here with minutes from August 28th.
No, but that's the recent one, did he still have the one from August? There's no date on that.
No, there's not on this one here, I just had it together.
This is what I sent.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
agent.
Oh, there it
But
is.
this is, there's no, this is all expenses.
Oh, well, that's a tax bill.
Yeah,
that's a
this
tax
is the
bill.
expenses.
We do have it.
And so now she's saying, so she said she submitted her financials, her financials, so these are all, receipts. And that's why he stated, financials for the complete property, because it's not just that unit. So, but she's saying her only income is Social Security. So we will find out, what the threshold is, and, I'll get with the attorney, and, if it's something different, I will send you an email. I'll have Elizabeth send you an
Please,
email,
yes.
what we need, so we could, before that meeting, so we could get this out to public here and move forward with it.
Absolutely.
All right, does the board have any more questions?
No, I
This
just
time?
would like to see the communication keep going.
Yeah.
Back and forth, not just, that's the only way you really get anything fixed, is communicate.
I don't disagree with that, as long as both parties want to get something fixed,
And both
yes.
sides gotta
Yeah.
do.
I will, take the, what you stated, about, allowing a code enforcement officer with, a ZBA member to go out and look.
Preferably Greg Hermize.
Okay. Okay.
Nick, all we have is the thing you get off the Ulster County parcel viewer that shows what you would pay in taxes, there's no, like, tax bill. So, those are not necessarily accurate, but it wasn't in the packet. Okay. I'm okay.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good evening.
Thank
you
you,
very
Paula,
much.
you too.
Mr. Supervisor?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to go into executive session for personnel. And I would like to invite the town supervisor and the liaison to the ZBA since they're here.
Give me just a moment.
Should we vote on that?
Okay, 9. Okay, it is 8 o'clock and we have,
Wait, I didn't record yet, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
okay, it's 8 o'clock. We have left executive session and we are back with our main meeting. One of the other things that, with my discussion with the attorney, that he's suggesting, and I could go and present that at the next town board meeting, possibly, is, he thinks we should start charging for escrows, for the bigger cases. He doesn't think that the taxpayers should be paying that expense. I know, we will be getting, a bill from him probably in the next couple weeks. And some of it overlaps from last year, but and then, the stuff that he's done this year. So, I don't know how everyone feels about that. I could kind of write that up and, submit it to the town.
How's it determined what's going to be a large case or not? And how do you determine?
So
what's
usually, it'd be, like a case by case, obviously you're not gonna ask for an escrow for a height variance or, stuff that we can handle. But I know like this case currently in front of us, he's already spent, probably like $1,800 on it, and we're not even halfway through. Last year, the Liberty View, he spent money and we're still getting bills in from that. So, that was one of the other things that he suggested.
You
So,
wanna charge the applicant a fee
well, they put in escrow just like they would
for
do,
like the plan,
Like the plan.
Oh, okay. That's-
so, yeah, so if it doesn't get used, they get it back,
Now, do all the towns have this in place already?
We got to do some, I got to do some research. I think he did mention some of the towns, not all the towns. So, I don't know what that number is in Ulster County, whether it's 1, whether it's 10, I have no idea. But I don't know how the board feels on something like that.
So the
Worth
purpose of
exploring.
charging for the escrow is,
If you, use the attorney.
Relieve the taxpayers.
so where the taxpayers wouldn't pay for the attorney,
That-
the applicant is.
That's
Right.
true.
Got it.
So it wouldn't be coming out of our budget,
Got it.
essentially.
Right, well, that's still taxpayers' money.
No, it wouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying,
Right.
that's why.
Right.
So I think it's a good idea. I just wanted to try to get a poll from the board, if they want me to pursue this and send, the
Yeah.
Worth
information.
exploring,
it's a good idea.
seeing what's out there for.
Okay. Bob?
Check it out.
Okay, so I'll look further into it and get a memo out hopefully before next meeting. Anyone else have any discussion? All right, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Do we do minutes? Do we do?
Oh, yeah. Thank
Just
you,
so you
Liz.
know, the CPAs they can require New York applicants to set up an escrow. So there you go.
So I can look into it.
Yep, they're strictly used for reimbursing city or professional consulting fees, engineers, planners, environmental analysts, and legal counsel.
I got,
Oh, no, here it is.
I got one
And
word,
another thing, Helene, you probably have one, Bob.
I have one,
Does anybody have, the 2026 town or state manual, town manual from associations of towns? They have a manual, and it covers a lot of stuff. What different boards do, different,
I can look at what we got from the last meeting, yeah. And if it is, it's posted on the planning, the planning federation.
because I got one a few weeks ago. 2026, they updated the book.
All right.
Oh, because they're anticipating the new secret law. Okay,
One-
let's go over the minutes and
Let's
then
go over
we'll
the
talk
minutes and then we can.
That's all, folks, good night.
Alright.
Take care.
Good night.
on the minutes, I got one, it's not a critical thing, but, page 14, Joe Egan, second line, and I looked at other towns around us and the fence floors vary by location. I'm guessing height. But that came off the recorder, so I'm not sure what the word would have been.
Yeah, I think I asked him about that because I rewatched the YouTube video and neither of us could figure out what he
Okay.
said. So,
It's just a question mark.
It's gonna be a question mark.
I didn't see anything
I
else.
can edit the way it's written in the minutes, like put inaudible or,
Yeah. if you
It's
want
not a
to-
critical thing,
not
but that would
critical.
probably be okay.
yeah.
And then I'll make a motion to accept the edited version minutes of May 14th, 2026.
I got a second,
Second.
15 seconds, all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, I got a motion to close the meeting?
Voucher.
Voucher. That's right, she's a secretary.
Vouchers was left blank.
That was just given to me, so I got mixed in with all this stuff. So we got a voucher for Joe, going to the Association of Towns. Okay, so I got a letter and a voucher, so the letter I gotta sign. So, I got a voucher, so when Joe went up to the, associations of towns, for a couple days, he had a hotel bill, and it's, the hotel bill came out to $220.
I don't know, you could put a voucher for that.
Could I say one thing, Chris? Not for nothing, but how many times do we cover and it's like following protocol? Is the recorder off? I don't want to say anything.
Recorder's on.
Okay.
Wait,
The
I mean,
recorder
it's
is
nothing bad, but
okay, so I thought the agreement was the town was gonna pay for the registration, not the board and.
Well, he's seeking, I mean, to me, if the town is sending someone away to training and it's days, it's an expense, for that training. And I think it should be paid, but that's just my opinion. He's not sending us a bill for fuel, which I think is 75 cents a mile. And if he decided not to stay, it would be a lot more than $220 driving back and forth every day and every night.
Well, I went to the same meeting and I didn't know I could put a voucher. I thought we only agreed on paying our registration fees.
That's what I thought I remember too.
Right.
Just saying.
Let's go to the video.
Yes.
If you're going out of town for a training session, something you're doing.
If our budget allowed, but originally we agreed only the registration because previous administration didn't want to pay for anything. So they at least this time agreed to pay our registration, and that's why we felt it was important to go, but.
The, our budget is 11,000, they upped it 4,000.
So if we have room in it, but we didn't previously agree to that, so is that an issue with the board? I mean,
Liz, I'm missing that other letter. Well,
Cause then
what that letter was.
cause then I'm eating the $220. Which you could just take.
No,
it.
I got it. I just
Oh, you
gotta
got
find
it? Okay.
Yeah, I just gotta find it. It's just got mixed in with everything talking today, so. But that,
I don't have a problem paying for the hotel room, but if we are, then we should certainly pay for both of them.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have an issue with that either.
I wasn't involved in going the trip, so I can't say as I paid attention to what the criteria was when it was agreed on, so.
It
I
just,
do remember, I think I remember what you remember.
Right, it was from Larry, and we originally agreed, if anybody wanted to go,
This
the
is a
town,
compromise.
right, he submitted it, and the town agreed, right, to pay our registration. But if you're going forward to say that,
Yeah,
You know,
that's kind of.
then we gotta make a new thing, that if we do go away,
you know what? I don't,
you can't.
the recorder's on now, I'm gonna talk anyway. It's nothing bad. The only thing we agreed to, and sometimes people forget to do it, which you did it very well. You got pre-approval before you went away.
Right.
That's why there was no problem. People have to remember that. If they wanna do something, it has to be pre-approved, not that they do it first.
Right.
And then say, we would like to get paid.
Right.
Because protocol is protocol.
But I don't mind covering the voucher, as long as the board agrees, there's money in the budget, and we're okay with it, then that's fine,
Well-
but,
We'll leave in a room. If there's pre-approval, everybody agrees to it.
Right.
that's fine too.
But then we have to adhere to the GSA rate, which is only $110 a night. And if that's what that was,
That's what that was.
okay, then we're good. So if the board agrees, then going forward, then we can go forward with that if we do travel, because it was a very good meeting. I mean,
Yeah,
But it still has to be approved ahead of time.
Right.
was what we agreed
so,
on.
Yeah.
so, you know,
I had a talk about Liz with that one time.
so we could do two motions. We could make a motion that any future training, whether it involves fuel or involves a hotel, has to be submitted prior to that event
For approval.
for approval.
That we submit to the town, not just ourselves, right? Or do we have to just be pre-approval by us, because it's our budget? What is who's approving it is what I'm asking.
So we approve it. Ultimately, the town board
When it
has to
comes to
approve it.
us, yes.
So I would amend that and say, you know, you need prior approval from both boards?
Well, yeah, I think that's been the rule, actually. Because if you don't approve it, you wouldn't be sending it to us.
So, prior approval, to send it to both boards before you attend the event.
For any
For
out-of-pocket
Any
training.
pocket expenses. We do have room in our budget for this. Me personally, I think if we send someone away from for training and it's that, listen, if it's Beacon, yeah, we're not gonna pay for your hotel. But,
Right.
you know, this isn't Beacon, this is, you know, where was it again?
Cooperstown.
Cooperstown, you know, so, and it was, 2 days and he's at the 110 rate, so it's a total of $220 that he's submitting. I don't have an issue either. There's room in our budget if Aline wanted to do the same thing because she went up there also. So-
Well, he doesn't get paid either, by the way.
So,
I donate my wages.
so the first motion that I'd like to make going forward is that any training and any expected out-of-pocket expenses be first approved by the ZBA and then by the town board.
So
Yeah,
moved.
because as long as like we do it in advance, like we know
Yeah,
this
it's
is
gotta
this
be ahead of
meeting,
time.
right,
Yeah.
this meeting was, we planned this, like it's almost 6 months ahead.
Right.
So it was something that we,
So Bruce is seconding that. On the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Nay, okay. Moving on with,
Did you say nay?
Yes, you did.
no, well, nay meaning, there's no nays, sorry.
Wow.
There's no nays. I voted yes.
so I have to submit a voucher, or is it going forward only, because then.
No,
it's
you were
pre-existing.
right, you were.
Your travel was approved.
Was that, so,
Pre-existing non-conforming.
So, you wanna make a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to approve payment from voucher from Joe Egan for hotel expense from attending New York Planning Federation 2026 Annual Conference in Cooperstown, New York for $220 from May 14th, 26.
I got a
Oh,
second.
April.
Second.
Was it-
Well, May 14th was the date of the invoice.
Oh, the
So it's a
voucher.
voucher.
Okay, yeah.
Bob is seconding that. On the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 0 nays.
So now adjournment.
So, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
I make a motion to turn the meeting,
Okay.
second, go.
I'll second it.
On the vote,
Aye.
Aye.
all right, meeting adjourned.
Good enough for me.
Kill the recorder.
Liz, I gotta go through this paperwork, I can't find that. All right.
What letter?
So
The
then.
memo that you have to sign?
Yeah,
Dude,
Or I gave it to you already.
No,
Okay. So it's in this package.
Do you have to clean up here or no?
No, I just have to turn off the lights